What's up, my friends? I hope you guys are doing so well. It might be a little loud. If it is, I apologize. So we're going to do round two of weight loss Q&A, and we're going to check out some of the questions that we've gotten over the past couple of hours. I was going to say past couple of days, but just did one yesterday. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. First question. There we go. The question is having an eating schedule helpful? Here's the thing. I think there is some value to having an eating schedule, but what we need to realize is that life happens. So you won't always be able to follow a schedule. That's just the reality of it. So don't beat yourself up. And by the way, that question was from Ken. So thanks for sending that in, Ken. So don't beat yourself up if you set a schedule and then you can't follow it. So I and my clients, we have two ways of tracking. We do either macros or we do a meal plan, and that is helpful enough. All I'm really concerned about is that you get your proper nutrition in during the day. And a lot of people say, well, don't eat after 7, don't eat after 8. I'm not sure the scientific value or the actual reality of that stuff. Like, is that real? Maybe. I feel better if I don't eat after 7. I go to bed at 8:30. Sleep is very important, by the way. That is a game changer to make sure you get enough sleep. So I'm in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock at the latest, and I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning every morning because, early to bed, early to rise, and all that mess. So, Ken, great question. And he was asking the question, should we do 3 meals a day? Should we do 6 meals a day? If you count macros, you can do as many meals as you want to. Some people choose to do intermittent fasting, so they may have their last meal at 5 o'clock the day before, and then the next day they won't eat until noon. Or they'll have their last meal at 6 or 7, and they won't eat until 1 or 2, and then they eat within that period of noon and 5 o'clock, and they eat all of their calories. So it really kind of it makes it a little bit easier for them because they may be hungry in the morning and they may not be very hungry in the morning, and they can get caught up with their calories in the afternoon. So, Ken, the answer to your question is it is helpful, but don't beat yourself up if you can't stick to the schedule. I know a lot of you guys travel. A lot of you guys are all over the country, and it really is hard to stick to a schedule. That's another thing we're going to talk about in another Facebook Live is how do you lose weight while traveling? How do you stick to proper nutrition? It can be done. I guarantee it. All right, great question, Ken. Next question. Chad wants to know, what is my go-to food for when I get the munchies? Before I answer that question, Chad's question, if you have a question, leave it in the comments, and if I get a chance here at the end, I will answer it. If not, we'll do it in another question and answer sesh. My go-to foods when I get the munchies. Now, here's the thing, Chad. So with counting macros and how that works, I don't get the munchies often because I've been able to time my meals out and I have enough calories, breakfast, lunch, and dinner to avoid getting the munchies. However, if I do get the munchies, and this is so cliche, right? Especially in the weight loss world, I love stuff like celery and peanut butter and apple and peanut butter and bananas and peanut butter. Love peanut butter. And again, all things in moderation. So you don't want to go overboard with the peanut butter because as delicious as it is high in fat and a lot of carbs usually. So just be careful with it. But it goes well with a lot of fruits and some vegetables. So anything crunchy really kind of helps satiate me. Now I have found this stuff from Icon Meals, and I don't have any here. My friend Clay introduced me to it. It is called protein popcorn, and let me tell you, that stuff is a game changer. It is delish. So, if you can find it, I know they have it at GNC. You can probably buy it online. My favorite flavor is the Freedom flavor. Like, it's got blueberry, strawberry, but it's protein popcorn, and it's legit popcorn, and I just don't even know how to tell you the magic that is Icon Meals protein popcorn. So check it out. You can buy it online probably. I haven't tried to buy it online. I've seen it at GNC when I've been in there. So real tasty. Good question, Chad. Also, some other things. Just keep fruit around. Fruit is wholesome. Now, there is a lot of sugar in fruit, but so don't overdo it. I'm okay with you enjoying fruit to a certain level, but I do not suggest or recommend that people drink fruit juices because there's so much sugar and concentrated sugar in that. It spikes your blood sugar, and there's a whole lot of complications to that. So, great question. Now I have another question here. It says, I can't exercise. Can I still lose weight? That's from Amy. The answer to your question is absolutely. I think we may have talked about this a little bit yesterday. I am fine with the fact that you can't go to the gym right now. It's okay. I just want you to have proper nutrition. That's the key. So you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. Abs are made in the kitchen. Yeah, I do remember saying that yesterday. So just worry and focus on proper nutrition because proper nutrition will be an absolute win for you. Now, if you go to the gym, once you are able to go to the gym, and work out and lift some weights, that's going to be a big benefit to you. That will help you be even more successful. Here's the other thing. If you do that, or if you can't go to the gym and you say, look, I just need to get moving, sometimes I suggest to my clients, all I want you to do is just walk. Walk as far as you can because all we're trying to do is establish the habits, trying to establish the behaviors that we want people to do on a regular basis because if I can get you to walk for 30 minutes, I will eventually be able to get you to go to the gym for 30 minutes. I want you to take this step of just getting moving in some way. Adding that in with your proper nutrition, and you're going to see an absolute win. There's so many people who argue about, is it really calories in versus calories out? People who do keto, they talk about, well, it's not really that way. Like if I lower my carbohydrate and up my fats and blah, 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 blah. That's part of the problem is we have so much information out there. I just want you to pick one and go with it. That's the beauty of working like with people like myself who do online coaching. The information that I provide, you can find it online. Like it's out there. The value that I bring is the accountability and the mentality coaching to help you wrap your head around losing such a massive amount of weight. So that was a rabbit trail. You can not exercise and still lose weight. I would like to see you do both. But if you just can't right now, don't use that as an excuse to not do anything. Just eat properly, and you will start to see results. Final question came in from Jack. What changed in your life to help you lose over 200 pounds? Great question, Jack. I get that question all the time, and my answer is usually I don't know. I think ultimately what it boiled down to was I was absolutely miserable. We talked a little bit about the stats before. If you've known my story for a while, you know. My blood pressure was 194 over 118. My pants were a size 74. My shirt was like an 8X. Just miserable. I had to drive a Ford Excursion because it was the largest car that was made at the time, probably with the exception of a Hummer. But I, just don't have all the money for a Hummer. But I drove the Excursion because that's all I could fit in. And if I had put on more weight, I was 30 pounds away from being eligible to go on my 600-pound life on TLC. I think I just got miserable. And I used to sit and I would speak with my friend Brad Post, and we would sit there and talk. And I would say to Brad, I want to lose weight. And he would say, no, you don't. Because if you wanted to, you would quit talking about it and you would do something about it. So that's my encouragement to you. I hear a lot of people say, I want to lose weight. And then just the excuses start coming. So take action, make it happen. I think one day what will happen is you'll wake up, and if you're overweight, significantly overweight, you're going to be miserable. And this is what Brad told me. He said, one day you will wake up and you will be miserable, and you will start to make a change. So that's what changed, just absolutely miserable. My life was... I wasn't happy. I was happy on the outside. I was just Big John, the jovial guy. I loved to joke and laugh, joke around and laugh. But still, on the inside, I was miserable and essentially dying. I was killing myself slowly. I tell people it was a slow suicide. So thankfully, I had somebody step into my life. I think God introduced that person into my life to help me get started down this path. And here we are. So that is what changed. There were some other things some more spiritual implications that kind of factored into that. And I'd be willing to talk to you guys about those too if you have more questions about that. So that's it. If you have any more questions, real quick while I wrap up, put them in the comments section. I will absolutely do what I can to answer those questions. You need to know that I'm not a nutritional counselor. I simply am like an online personal trainer who helps with program workouts, and I will give you. We work with a nutritionist to give you a meal plan. That's what I do. I just want to help people get their head around this weight loss process. That's why I'm doing these weight loss Q&As. Also, why tomorrow night, Wednesday, at 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm doing a webinar for the top 10 tips. Ooh, say that 10 times fast. Top 10 tips that I use to lose over 240 pounds. Here's the thing. I still have 100 pounds to go. Like, I'm still on this journey, but I can provide value of helping you wrap your head around everything and figuring this out. So if I can help you, if you feel like you're stuck, please send me a private message on here. Let's have a conversation. I'd love to help you get your head around the weight loss journey, because it really is it's a mind game. And we got to figure out, how do we hold ourselves accountable? Real quick side note, husbands, wives, best friends, etc. are not good accountability partners, because they love you, and ultimately they will say, okay, well, if you want to have those dozen donuts, go ahead, right? Like, because the strife gets to a point and then one person gives, and it's usually not the person that wants to eat the food. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for some accountability. Go with somebody who is willing to tell you like it is. I tell my clients who are my friends, once they become my client, they are first my client and then my friend. So there may be things that I have to tell them that they don't want to hear, and that's just the way it is. So you guys are awesome. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you real soon.